James, I feel like we have this conversation literally every year. Every year that I have been a part of these shows, we bring it up. Mike Tomlin, should he be on the hot seat? Should he be on the hot seat? Then he starts the regular season. He finishes the regular season without a losing season. NFL record, by the way, Mike Tomlin, 17 straight seasons without a losing season. But also, only 8 teams have a longer playoff win drought than the Steelers. Haven't won a playoff game since 2016. If they go one and done, James, should Tomlin be on the hot seat?
Man, this sounds crazy, man. This sounds crazy. My answer on my paper, man, is no. But I am changing it to yes. Because I think with Coach Tomlin, yes, you've showed us you can win and you do not have a losing season. We know all of that. But as I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's about winning championships and getting to the Super Bowl. You have not shown you can do that. And not only that, Mike Tomlin is 8-10 in the playoffs. That's a losing record in the playoffs. So sometimes, even as great as a coach you are, you might need a new venue. You might need a fresh start. You might need to go somewhere else to give a different message to a different team. But maybe your time in Pittsburgh has ran out because you have not been to the Super Bowl or won a playoff game in a very long time. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are about winning and getting to Super Bowls. And I understand the Pittsburgh Steelers do not fire head coaches. They stick with you for a very long time, one of the best organizations at that. But just looking at it right now, if he doesn't win a playoff game this year with probably the better quarterback that he's had in a long time to get in the playoffs and compete, it might be time to start having them conversations, man.
Is this really, we're really having a conversation about Mike Tomlin on the hot seat? What are we talking about? Like when you, I get it, right? Like regular season, he's 183 and 107, playoffs 8-10. Okay, not great. And hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. I was actually at that playoff game. But a little economics lesson for you guys. The market dictates the value of any commodity.
Absolutely.
Mike Tomlin is the commodity. Could you imagine if Mike Tomlin leaves the Steelers, how many teams will be lining up? 100%. His value right now is sky high. 100%. And then the other thing is, like, who are you going to replace him with? Who are you going to... This guy has never had a losing season. I can see the playoff stuff. And we're going to talk about Russ later. They still haven't figured out the quarterback situation since Ben Roethlisberger's been out. Like, that's the big thing. And then this Mike Tomlin defense that we all know and love, they've been struggling. They're giving up 28 points a game since week 12. Like, that's the whole situation. And so I just go back to anytime you're talking about is he on the hot seat, who are you going to replace him with? Yeah. Like, who is a better head coach on the free market right now than Mike Tomlin? And I get it. I can point to Sean Payton. Time ran out in New Orleans. Look at him now in Denver, right? And some other teams have just time's up. You move the situation. But Mike Tomlin's one of the best head coaches out there, guys. Like, I get it. I see both sides. I just can't take my personal mind there to say, let's replace him, because you're saying he's on the hot seat and saying we have someone better than him. Yeah. I don't see it.
I'll say this, right? When you first heard it, you're like, hell no, Mike. Ain't no hot seat. One of the best coaches in football, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Has been an OG in a long time and takes any team to the playoffs, no matter how bad the quarterback play is. But when I sit here and I start looking at the stats, right? You say it's 8-10 in the playoffs, that's not winning. The last time they had a win is 2016, right? I said, hold on, I was still playing then. So they have it, they go to playoffs, but they don't win at all.
Still playing.
But you know, I thought about it. I was talking to this GM, I won't say his name, and we were arguing. I hate when people, I get real offended when you talk about Andy Reid in a certain light. And with the Eagles, when we fired Andy Reid, I was so mad. So I'm talking to this GM, he said, yeah, man, Andy was great, but you know, his time has passed in Philadelphia. When we had to go in a different direction.
Not saying he's back.
He said, not for the team, but more for him.
Fresh start.
And when he said, you know what? That makes sense. I truly think that Coach Tomlin is one of the best coaches in football. But I think his time at Pittsburgh, I think it should be over, right? If they don't win, right? No, but you know what I'm saying? I think he goes to another team, a new start, an Andy Reid new start, and gets that old Mike Tomlin back going on, because I think he's a championship type of coach. I think he's a playoff type of coach. And sometimes, right, the relationship is over. It's not working the same way like it used to work. I think you put him on another team, right, another start, fresh start, I think he has the same type of impact like Andy Reid. And it's not saying he's a bad coach, just that right now the coach, his relationship, and his team are not working out.
Yeah, that's incredibly well said. Of course he has to be on the hot seat. And I agree with everything Chase said. I just don't think that's the determining factor. I agree with everything Chase said, right? But for me, it's very simple. You don't ever brag about how high a floor is. You brag about how high a ceiling is. Shady does a lot of home reconstructions. All love it. He's a brilliant savant as a businessman.
I like high ceilings.
You walk into a house and you don't say, man, this floor is really high. You say, man, this house has really high ceilings.
Right.
Mike Tomlin's floor is high. That's what Chase told us. His floor is high. He's never had a losing season. But how high is his ceiling? Because every coach, not in the NFL, in his division, has had more playoff success more recently than he has. Kevin Stefanski has beat Mike Tomlin in the playoffs more recently than Mike Tomlin has won a playoff game. Zach Taylor has gone to a Super Bowl and an AFC championship more recently than Mike Tomlin has won a playoff game. Harbaugh has gone to an AFC championship more recently than Mike Tomlin has won a playoff game. I understand all three of those coaches, Stefanski, Taylor, and Harbaugh, have lower floors. But we're talking about the ceiling. The ceiling right now should be a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin does not have a high ceiling as of late with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's why he should be on the hot seat. His floor, Chase, is incredibly high. It's incredibly high. But what is his ceiling? Again, are we going to continue to feed Steelers fans, oh, well, you don't have regular season losing seasons? Who cares? Who cares?
I agree, and Chase, I understand your frustration because, like I said, my first answer was no. So, and nobody's sitting up here saying Tomlin's a bad coach.
I'm not saying that.
Y'all know I fight for Coach Mike all day, every day. I don't think Coach Mike was a bad coach. I think players just wasn't making plays, got Coach Mike fired because Mike is a heck of a coach. But one thing Coach Tomlin doesn't do, and that's develop quarterbacks.
Ever.
Well, I agree.
So I would love to see him. I would love to see him with a fresh start. Go get you with a proven veteran quarterback. We know what you're going to do with the defense. We know you know how to run an organization. Go get with a proven quarterback, and that might mean you winning another Super Bowl or getting to another Super Bowl. But a fresh start is not always bad, and it's not saying that you are not a good football coach. Just your time in Pittsburgh has ran its course, man.
What's wrong, Chase?
If the Steelers fire him, they should be banished from the NFL. I'm going to use the Saints as an example with Sean Payton. I was with him for 5 years. Sean Payton was the best thing to ever happen to that Saints organization. Brought them their Super Bowl.
Sure.
And got really close like 3 or 4 other times where we lost crazy in the playoffs. What has that Saints franchise been since he's left? Now, Denver's made the playoffs with a rookie quarterback and in cap hell. The Saints have done nothing since they left. Can you not imagine the Pittsburgh Steelers doing the exact same thing? If they think they are better off to where you're going to put Mike Tomlin on the hot seat, that's crazy. But that's crazy to me. Because you're not going to find another guy that is going to take you to the heights that Mike Tomlin has taken. You're not going to.
But hold on, though.
Easily?
Really quick, though. Really quick.
One of the best coaches in the history of the league.
22 franchises have won playoff games since Mike Tomlin has. They can find a coach to win a playoff game.
Do we not care about equity?
Really quick. Who's the best coach in football?
Right now? Andy Reid.
Thank you. He left.
Eagles won the Super Bowl.
What are we talking about the Philadelphia Eagles?
He left. He went to 4 NFC championship games in a row.
And the Eagles are really good right now. They're the favorites right now, and they've been to a Super Bowl and won it. So it's your situation, and it's also other situations. And it worked out really good for Andy Reid, and it worked out really good for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is a hell of a football coach. Nobody up here is not saying that. But sometimes your time runs out.
You know who won the Super Bowl? Andy Reid disciple, Doug Peterson. So if you're going to get a Mike Tomlin disciple, go hire him then. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but let's go to the Chiefs, though. Right? Chiefs weren't that good, right? You was there.
14. I was there. The first year Andy Reid was there.
The year before Andy Reid got there, they won 4 games?
2-14.
They won 2 games. Okay. You get Andy Reid. Now, Andy Reid's a really good coach, but we were 4-12.
9-0.
But think how this thing, I'm just trying to paint the picture for you. So in Philadelphia, when he fired him, we were 4-12. I was mad as hell that he got fired. He leaves, he goes to the Chiefs. The year before that, they won 2 games, right?
Yep, 2.
He gets there, they go straight to the playoffs.
We won 9-0.
You get what I'm saying? I think a fresh start is good for everybody. And then the crazy thing with Andy Reid is when I was there, he didn't call plays, right? But when he got to Philadelphia, he called the plays. When he went to the Chiefs, he said, "Yo, I gotta establish my type of environment. I gotta establish my type of culture." He called plays.
Yes.
And then now you see what they got going on. They every year they about to win a championship.
I just can't imagine Mike Tomlin.
Man, it's a tough question.
It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.